Justin Phillip here, back again, finally, from DogTimes Productions. I say that because, you know, I've been gone for a little bit, and it's good to be back. I've actually been shooting my second feature film as director of photography, so that's pretty nuts. I had two features back to back there. This one has a couple different units. There's an Atlanta unit, there's an LA unit, and then there's a unit like in another country like Kenya or something. So I was hired as the DP for the LA unit. It was pretty cool. For the first time ever, I had like an actual skeleton crew working under me. So I had a gaffer, which was awesome, a really talented guy, and we kind of come from the same school of thought. So it was a lot of fun working side by side with him, learning some awesome lighting tricks, and also, you know, kind of being able to have that benefit of having someone help me bring the overall image to life the way I saw it in my head. I also had a first AC, a second AC, a B-cam operator who was also our Steadicam op, and our drone pilot, and then of course our friend Tristan was there as our key grip. So we had like a very strong camera and lighting grip crew. However, it was still ultra bare bones and pretty wild experience. One of the nights, the whole crew actually went on strike, so it was pretty nuts. If you're interested in catching all the BTS on that, there's tons of BTS. We had a camera PA too, and he just took my GH5 with the Sigma art and just captured tons of behind the scenes. And so we're going to be breaking down the lighting setups on that, going through that day by day over on the Patreon. That's patreon.com/Justin Phillip. Here's a link, and as always, I'll put a link down in the description below. It's only $1 per video, so I'm not doing those Patreon videos to try to make money off of my YouTube subs. It's literally the lowest amount I can possibly put on Patreon, and it's literally just so I have a more private, tight-knit community to share all the paid gigs that I'm being hired to work on. So it kind of keeps that stuff very exclusive and keeps out all the riffraff. So if you're interested in that, we're still breaking down the last feature film I worked on. We got about 2 more weeks left on that, and then we'll jump right into this newest feature film. So yeah, you're not going to want to miss out on that if you're into that kind of thing, you know, cinematography, tutorials, and breakdowns, and looking at BTS, and kind of if you're, you know, I know a lot of you aren't in big cities such as LA. Like, I always refer to Los Angeles as the Super Bowl of the filmmaking community. So it kind of also will give you an insight into what it's like to be a low-budget, independent, freelance cinematographer in one of the biggest cities in the world for filmmaking, right? So yeah, there's that. But today's video is, in fact, a DogTimes Productions giveaway. And in order to do the giveaway, I thought it'd be a little fun to step out away from the normal kind of camera gear reviews, away from the lighting stuff, away from all the black magic talk, and jump onto the other side of the camera for today's giveaway. We are going to be taking a peek at the SAG-AFTRA Screen Awards. Now, SAG-AFTRA is otherwise known as the Screen Actors Guild, the American Federation of Television and Radio Association. I believe that's what AFTRA stands for. This was my very first SAG card. I got this back in 2011. I was Taft-Hartley'd into the union pretty much right out of grad school. I was living in Detroit at the time and got cast in an animated pilot called The Super Unknowns. I was cast as the kind of like sidekick character of these underdog superheroes. It was being pitched to networks like FX and Adult Swim, so you can kind of get an idea of what kind of cartoon it was. And we actually filmed it at Jeff Bass's home recording studio, which at the time, Jeff Bass was Eminem's producer on the 8 Mile soundtrack. So we literally recorded the cartoon in the same booth that Eminem sung Lose Yourself. So it was pretty insane. But here is a very quick clip of that little cartoon, and you can see if you can recognize my old voice that's almost 10 years old at this point.
How's that supposed to mean? And what's wrong with my costume? Right behind you, Jet Black! I have no idea how you even survive. Yeah, last week was a bad week.
So yeah, that little cartoon got me Taft-Hartley'd into the union, and Taft-Hartley basically is an invitation for a non-union member that auditions for an all-union project, and they accept you, they cast you for the role, and they have to give you this little piece of paper, a Taft-Hartley, and basically saying, we can cast you in this role, we will pay you union wages on this role, and now with this piece of paper, you can now be invited to join the Screen Actors Guild. So I did back in 2011, I've been a member ever since, and you get health benefits, and you get to audition for some bigger parts, and I've done my fair share of kind of cool acting stuff, but one of the biggest things that I partake in every year is voting for the Screen Actors Guild Awards. If you don't know about these award ceremonies, it's very similar to the Golden Globes, which just went by a couple weeks ago. or last week or something like that. But yeah, it's specifically for members of SAG. And they send us every year a pile of screeners. This is screeners from last year's films. It's a lot of TV shows. So there's The Irishman, there's movies, but you know, you get things like The Parasite and Once Upon a Time in Hollywood and Jojo Rabbit and Joker. So it's kind of cool. You kind of get like, you know, hard copies of movies. But the biggest, coolest part is you get to vote, and every vote counts, right? It's kind of this union organization. But for today's video, I thought it would be fun to vote. I'm going to actually put in my ballot, put in my votes for each category right here on today's video. And if you want to play along, some lucky person will have the chance to win some DogTimes production swag. We got t-shirts, right? We got t-shirts. We got these hats made up, and we got a bunch of vinyl stickers. All of this stuff is made possible from our good friend Rick Vestudo out there at the graphics shop in Kego Harbor, Michigan. If you guys follow along on the channel, you know he's donated lots of t-shirts and lots of stickers before in the past. So he's hooking us up with today's giveaway. He's providing us with t-shirt, hat, and stickers. So big shout out to Rick. And here is his website for the graphics shop. Here's his Instagram. Be sure to go over there and check it out. Follow him on Instagram. And I want to encourage all of my low-budget independent filmmakers to check out his shop. And, you know, if you have a logo for your company, you should at least get some stickers made, because it's really awesome to put it on your gear. I have DogTimes stickers on almost all of my gear, and it's really great, such as the feature film I just shot, because, you know, we had 2 Blackmagic Pocket Cinema Camera 4K packages on that shoot, and it's really great to know, like, oh, that's my V-mount, I'll take that. Why? Because it has a DogTimes sticker on it, right? So these are the important things to think about. My Soonwell battery, I've done a review on these, but right there, you see, DogTimes. So I literally have these little DogTimes stickers on almost every piece of gear, wherever I can wrap it, stick it around, and it just secures your gear, you know? So if nothing else, you know, get some stickers, but you know, you probably want to get some shirts, whatever. I know you guys got your logos made up, and the graphic shop might be the place to do that. So I'll put links to Rick's website and Instagram down below. And again, Rick, gigantic thank you for hooking us up with today's giveaway. Also, Rick does his own camera gear reviews over on his YouTube channel. So here's a little peek at that, and I'll put a link to his YouTube down below, so be sure to go over there and check it out. Hit subscribe over there, guys. We got to give our entire filmmaking community some love, right? Okay, so moving on, let's get on with today's category. How can you win? Well, it's pretty simple. As I go down through each category, I'm going to briefly explain why I'm voting for who I'm voting for, but you at home, you can be voting along, right? Get out a piece of paper, get out a pencil, or even your notepad app on your iPhone, and just quickly jot down each category, and then write down who you would vote for, right? And then when you have all of your nominees, your votes tallied up, leave one comment down in the description below, you know, each of your votes in one comment. Don't leave me a string of comments, because YouTube will probably flag that and I won't see them, and then you'll be disqualified. So you got to make sure and put in all your votes in a comment down below. And after the actual SAG Awards ceremony is aired live, I believe it airs January 19th of this year, 2020. Okay, so that's next weekend. On TBS and TNT, right? So after it airs, I'm going to come back to this video, I'm going to review the comments, and whoever got the most votes correct, you will win the DogTimes production swag package. You'll get the shirt, you'll get the hat, and you'll get some stickers, okay? So I think it'll be a cool way for people to play along, and I know a lot of you have hit me up on previous videos asking about how to get some DogTimes swag, and so even though there's the Design by Humans website, but I get it, if you don't want to give those guys money, I probably wouldn't want to either. So yeah, this is your chance to get some free DogTimes swag, and probably about, I don't know, like $60 worth of DogTimes stuff, so it could be very cool. So, without further ado, let's jump into these SAG nominee categories, and let's get to voting. If you want to play along with this, your votes have to be in, obviously, before the 19th. So any comments you leave down below has to be, obviously, before the ceremony. You can't, you know, think you're going to be sly, because YouTube does put on there when the comments are received. It timestamps all the comments. Okay, so There is 15 total categories. So all of my viewers out there, get your paper and pens ready, get your thumbs and your apps ready. Let's get ready to do this. The first category is Outstanding Performance by a Male Actor in a Leading Role. We have Christian Bale for Ford vs. Ferrari, Leonardo DiCaprio for Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, Adam Driver for Marriage Story, Taron Egerton for Rocketman, or Joaquin Phoenix for Joker. Now for me, this is a no-brainer. I think Joaquin Phoenix for Joker. Primarily because, to me, Joaquin Phoenix is an amazing actor. He gets kind of shunned a lot by Hollywood, I will say. He's kind of the outcast of Hollywood, and in my opinion, it was no wonder to me that he was cast as the Joker for this particular Joker film. You know, this isn't like a normal run-of-the-mill superhero movie, as we all know. Also, by the way, I'm not going to be spoiling anything here, so don't worry if you haven't seen any of this stuff. There will be no spoilers whatsoever. I will not be revealing or talking plot whatsoever, so don't get worried about that. But in my opinion, Joaquin Phoenix is one of the most talented actors of our time, and just in it to win it. You know what I mean? There's never been anything where he wasn't disappointing. You know, Inherent Vice, he was amazing. The Master, he was amazing. I'm Still Here is one of my favorite movies of all time. So yeah, I will say Joaquin Phoenix. The others, Christian Bale is also a very talented guy, but Ford vs. Ferrari kind of felt to me like a made-for-TV movie. It just did. Once Upon a Time in Hollywood was really awesome, but I think Leo did an amazing job in that film. But at the same time, I think Joaquin Phoenix outshined Leo. And also, Leo's kind of already had his day, and I think it's time to pay some regards to Joaquin. But maybe the SAG Awards won't be, you know, maybe it'll be more the Oscars to let Joaquin shine. Who knows? I do know Hollywood just seems to not really be a big fan of Joaquin. If you remember back in the day when Joaquin was in something called Redemption Road or Revolutionary Road, and then at the same year, Leo DiCaprio was in something called Revolutionary Road or Redemption Road or something vice versa, and it was one of those weird things where they were both up for the role with very similar title movies, and Leo won. So I don't know. I just thought I'd say that. But yeah, those are the categories. I'm voting for Joaquin. Okay, let's move on to the next category. Outstanding Performance by a Female Actor in a Leading Role. We have Cynthia Erivo for Harriet, Scarlett Johansson for Marriage Story, Lupita... Boy, I'm going to hack these names up. Lupita Nyong'o for Us, Charlize Theron for Bombshell, and Renee Zellweger for Judy. I literally just watched Judy last night, so that performance is like dead in my brain. Bombshell was very good. Us was pretty awesome. Marriage Story was okay. Harriet was pretty. This is hard for me because I don't know. I don't judge the female actresses as hard as I judge male actors. And I think it's just because I can relate easier to male actors. You know, me being a male actor, but this might be a little difficult here. I don't know, I've definitely seen all of these movies, so maybe I'll just say, I guess I should vote for who I think they're going to vote for, and I would say that probably Cynthia Erivo for Harriet, just because that seems like a kind of movie that would win. But was it the best performance? I don't know. I mean, Scarlett Johansson is definitely getting better, I think. In the beginning, I wasn't really a big fan of Johansson, but she has slowly been growing on me as a really talented actress. Charlize Theron is always amazing, always amazing. But I just feel like Harriet, for Cynthia Erivo for Harriet, is probably the proper answer. Okay, so next, Outstanding Performance by a Male Actor in a Supporting Role. We have Jamie Foxx for Just Mercy. We have Tom Hanks for A Beautiful Day in the Neighborhood, Al Pacino for The Irishman, Joe Pesci for The Irishman, and Brad Pitt for Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. Wow, this is a crazy category. We have some legends in here, but I am going to vote for Brad Pitt for Once Upon a Time in Hollywood because, to me, out of this category, I think he was the most pleasant performance to watch. And also, I don't know, I mean, he's going up. I mean, Al Pacino was probably the best part and probably the only good part of The Irishman, in my opinion. I just wasn't a fan of The Irishman. And don't get me wrong, I grew up on Scorsese films, and to me, The Irishman was just kind of a throwaway. I don't know. That's my opinion, and I'm sure we're going to get a lot of awesome comment back and forth here on this video, which I hope. I'm stoked for this because I'm going to talk trash about some things, and to me, The Irishman was whew, what a waste of time and money, in my opinion. But to me, Al Pacino was one good part of that film. The biggest problem I have with The Irishman is like they went through all this time and money to make all those guys look younger, when they forgot about, like, you know, De Niro is trying to move. He's still moving like an 80-year-old man here, guys. You know, you got him, like, you know, him trying to kick that guy in the face was hilarious. It's like, okay, yeah, that's how my grandpa would kick someone in the face, not like a young kid. Joe Pesci's calling him a kid. It's like, oh boy, you know, it's like, it was almost sad to watch The Irishman. It was almost depressing. And also, it was kind of like a history lesson in the Union, you know, like, you know, the old, like, I don't know. I found that movie just horrific. But that's my opinion. And don't get me wrong, I grew up with movies like Mean Streets and Once Upon a Time in America. Like, these were my films. I love gangster films. Goodfellas is probably definitely top 5 all time, my favorite movies of all time, but I think they should have just put that one to rest and just cast younger people in it. I mean, De Niro played Marlon when Marlon was the young Godfather, so why couldn't De Niro let someone else play him younger? You know what I mean? It was very weird to me. But long story short, I'm voting for Brad Pitt for Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. I loved his performance in that. To me, that was one of my favorite Brad Pitt performances. So yeah, that's what I'm going with. Okay, what's next here? Outstanding performance by a female actor in a supporting role. We have Laura Dern for Marriage Story, Scarlett Johansson for Jojo Rabbit, Nicole Kidman for Bombshell, Jennifer Lopez in Hustlers, and Margot Robbie for Bombshell. Yeah, I'm voting for Jojo Rabbit. So that was the movie there for me where I was like, whoa, Scarlett Johansson is really coming around and really settling into herself. And I you know, because looking back on movies where she was first coming around, you know, and Scarlett Johansson's been around a long time. Like she used to do like TV commercials when she was like a teenager. Like, never really been a fan of hers, but she was so good in Jojo Rabbit. And by the way, Jojo Rabbit was probably my favorite film of the year. And although Laura Dern was pretty awesome in Marriage Story, but Laura Dern is always awesome. She's like really good in that HBO show, but I'm gonna vote for Scarlett Johansson for Jojo Rabbit. Such a good performance. Okay, here we go. Outstanding performance by a cast in a motion picture. So we have Bombshell, right? So all of the actors involved with Bombshell. We have The Irishman. We have Jojo Rabbit. We have Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, and we have Parasite. Whoa, this is going to be a tough one for me, but I think best cast overall, whoa, this is hard because this is very close to best picture. So we have to learn how to separate those things in our brains when we're voting, right? Because best picture doesn't mean best cast. Performance by a cast. Bombshell had a really amazing cast when you think about just the cast. Irishman, I don't want to vote anything for that film. Jojo Rabbit, pretty amazing performances. Actually, yeah, the little kids in that were amazing. Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, though, had some pretty amazing roles too. But for me, the only ones that really stood out was Leo and Brad Pitt. So I can't really say the whole cast helped that out. Parasite was good. Here's the problem I have voting for best performance by a cast for Parasite. I love Parasite. I thought it was a really amazing, unique movie. But something is taken away from me being able to fully watch the performances when I have to read a movie, right? I have to read the movie, which isn't anyone's fault, you know, it's not, you know, I just don't know the language, so I literally have to read the subtitles, but it takes away from me being fully immersed into the performance. So that kind of takes away from me. I really can't judge how those performances were because I was reading half of it, you know? So I think I'm going to vote for Jojo Rabbit overall best performance by a cast. Okay. Outstanding action performance by a stunt ensemble in a motion picture. So we have Avengers Endgame, Ford vs. Ferrari, The Irishman, Joker, or Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. This is weird. I think I'm going to have to go with Ford versus Ferrari. The Irishman, there was stuntmen in The Irishman. Why didn't they let the stuntmen do Robert De Niro's stunts? So maybe he would have looked like he was a young man fighting. Whatever, I'm not going to get into that. There were stunts in Once Upon a Time, I guess. I'm going to say Ford versus Ferrari because of all those stunt drivers. I mean, that was pretty intense. So I'm going to say best performance by a stunt ensemble, Ford versus Ferrari. Okay, here we go. Outstanding performance by a male actor in a television movie or limited series. We have Mahershala Ali for True Detective, Russell Crowe for The Loudest Voice, Jared Harris for Chernobyl, Jarrell Jerome for When They See Us, or Sam Rockwell for Fosse Verdon. Whoa. Yeah, that last season of True Detective was really good. Chernobyl was really amazing as well. When They See Us was really good. Dang. This is probably going to be hard. Let me just, I want to look this up real quick. I just need to double check which character Jared Harris was. Oh, yeah. Okay, yeah, I'm going to have to vote for Chernobyl, I do believe. That was a pretty amazing, that was an amazing show. Okay, here we go. Outstanding performance by a female actor in a television movie or limited series. We have Patricia Arquette for The Act, Toni Collette for Unbelievable, Joey King for The Act, Emily Watson for Chernobyl, or Michelle Williams for Fosse Verdon. Oh man, this is a hard one. Because Michelle Williams was amazing. Michelle Williams was amazing in Fosse. She was really good in Fosse, but also Patricia Arquette for The Act. Whoa! And also when you think about Patricia Arquette did The Act right after she did that crazy Showtime movie where she was like helping those prisoners escape, you know, with Paul Dano and Benicio del Toro. I'm voting for Patricia Arquette. I think she is by far, she has always, since True Romance, if you guys have never seen True Romance, it was one of Tarantino's first movies that he wrote. He didn't direct it, but he wrote it. It is full of an amazing cast, but Patricia Arquette and Christian Slater are like the main leads in it. She has been, I've been a fan of hers ever since True Romance. So, but The Act is an amazing, amazing performance by Patricia Arquette, so she gets my vote for that. Outstanding performance by a male actor in a drama series. We have Sterling K. Brown for This Is Us, Steve Carell for The Morning Show, Billy Crudup for The Morning Show, Peter Dinklage for Game of Thrones, and David Harbour for Stranger Things. Here's the thing. I'm not a fan of Game of Thrones. Never have been. The Morning Show, I heard is very crappy. This Is Us, yeah. This is probably isn't the right answer, but I don't care. I'm going to vote for David Harbour just because I'm a fan of his... that actor. I think he's a really awesome person. I've seen some interviews of him, and also just... His character in Stranger Things is one of my favorite, most charming characters, I guess. So yeah, I'm going to vote for David Harbour, Stranger Things, even though that's probably the wrong answer. Okay, here we go. Outstanding performance by a female actor in a drama series. We have Jennifer Aniston for The Morning Show. We have Helena Bonham Carter for The Crown, Olivia Colman for The Crown, Jodie Comer for Killing Eve, and Elizabeth Moss, The Handmaid's Tale. Hands down, I have to vote for Elizabeth Moss in The Handmaid's Tale. The Handmaid's Tale... especially for all my camera guys out there, if you have not seen The Handmaid's Tale, you should be ashamed of yourself. To me, is some of the most amazing cinematography that we have for television right now. So yeah, but her performance, amazing. And they actually gave her own lens. So Elizabeth Moss's character had her own specific lens, because I've been reading a lot of articles and listening to a lot of podcast interviews about the cinematography behind The Handmaid's Tale, which is pretty cool. So yeah, Elizabeth Moss gets my vote. Okay, here we go. Outstanding performance by a male actor in a comedy series. Alan Arkin for The Kominsky Method, Michael Douglas for The Kominsky Method, Bill Hader for Barry, Andrew Scott for Fleabag, and Tony Shalhoub for The Marvelous Mrs. Maisel. Hands down, Bill Hader for Barry all the way. I think that is definitely one of the best shows on TV right now. If you've noticed by these votes, you can tell I'm a huge fan of HBO, which I am. I think they have always kind of set the precedent for content, but lately Hulu has been really on the heels of HBO, really. I mean, if you look at The Act, you look at Handmaid's Tale, Hulu's coming up strong. But yeah, Bill Hader for Barry, definitely. Outstanding performance by a female actor in a comedy series. Christina Applegate, Dead to Me. Alex Borstein for The Marvelous Mrs. Maisel. Rachel Brosnahan for The Marvelous Mrs. Maisel. Catherine O'Hara for Schitt's Creek. And Phoebe Waller-Bridge for Fleabag. I think I'm going to have to go with The Marvelous Miss Maisel on this one. Yeah, Rachel Brosnahan. I think I'm going to vote for her. That show's really great. It's a really charming little show, Marvelous Miss Maisel, and she's great. I'm gonna just vote for her. It's probably the wrong answer, but that's what I'm going with. Okay, here we go. Outstanding performance by an ensemble in a drama series. We have Big Little Lies, The Crown, Game of Thrones, The Handmaid's Tale, and Stranger Things. Whoa, this is really hard for me because we have Big Little Lies and then we have The Handmaid's Tale. Both amazing shows, in my opinion. And this is for outstanding performance by an ensemble in a drama series. I think I'm going to have to go with The Handmaid's Tale only because I wasn't a big fan of the latest season of Big Little Lies. If this would have been the first season of Big Little Lies, I probably would have voted them over Handmaid's Tale. But Handmaid's Tale is so consistent, they're going to get my vote. And here we go. 2 more to go. Outstanding performance by an ensemble in a comedy series. We have Barry, Fleabag, The Kaminsky Method, The Marvelous Mrs. Maisel, or Schitt's Creek. For me, hands down, it's going to be Barry. I mean, it can't be beat. And last one, here we go. Outstanding action performance by a stunt ensemble in a comedy or drama series. Game of Thrones, Glow, Stranger Things, The Walking Dead, or Watchmen. I think this is going to be probably a surprise, but I think I'm going to go with Glow, just because, you know, it's female girls wrestling, and I don't know, it's women, and I think that's going to get my vote. Outstanding action performance by a stunt ensemble, Glow. Okay, so there we go, and here is all of the votes. The votes are in. So be sure that you comment down in the comments below who you would vote for each of those categories. You have to have 15. Or not, you know, but I think if you do vote for each category, that will up your chances to win, because whoever gets the most correct, you will win the DogTimes Production swag bag. So yeah, and here we go. Be sure to tune in to the 26th Annual Screen Actors Guild Awards this Sunday, upcoming Sunday, January 19th of this year, 2020, simulcast live at 8 p.m. Eastern Time, 5 p.m. Pacific Time on TNT and TBS, and you can check them out at hashtag SAG Awards on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter, and of course, sagawards.org if you want to check it out for yourself, or if you need to go back and see who the nominees of each category are, or you could just rewind the video, because I know I talk kind of quickly. But yeah, that does it, folks. By the way, this was not sponsored or had anything, any kind of affiliation with SAG or the SAG Awards. They could care less if I'm alive or dead. So yeah, it's just, I thought it'd be a fun way to, I have to vote anyways, but I thought it'd be a fun way to maybe give away some DogTimes gear. And again, gigantic thank you to Rick out there at the graphic shop. And as always, thank you for watching, and be sure to check in next time. We got some fun reviews coming up, and for now, that's a wrap.